What up? Welcome to A2thaShow. I'm A to the Mo.
Show with A to the Mo.
Joined by SoCo, aka Southern Com4rt.
Hey, what's going on, Mo?
That's right. So I just got to get it right out the front. This is our second time to do this whole episode. I fucked up.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah, we did. So 2 days.
You're learning behind the scenes magic.
2 days ago, we scheduled for SoCo to do this call in. And he did everything right on his end, as far as I know. I mean, maybe there's something fucked up. As far as we know, he did everything right.
And he'll never know if I fucked up,
right,
because he fucked up first.
Yes. And then so at like the 1.5 hour mark, we lose SoCo. He we lose his audio, and I was like, and I was just sitting here waiting for quite a while, like 10 minutes, it felt like. And then in that 10 minutes, I happened to be like, motherfucker, I never hit record on the video. So what was going to happen was at this exact moment, as we're recording this, my plan, if SoCo couldn't call, well, actually, I guess there's another stage here I forgot about. The next day, SoCo yesterday was going to call back. We were going to redo it then, but then you had a family emergency happen.
I did.
And then I was like, felt bad for even asking. So that could, that didn't work out. And then my big plan was going to be, I was going to sit and listen to our audio that we did do. And I was going to position the microphone to perfectly cover my mouth the whole time. And so if I just moved my mouth, you couldn't tell. And I was just going to try to fake it. And then when I mentioned my haircut, I was going to take off my hat. And that was my plans this evening. I had my wife all ready. I was like, listen, it's going to be weird, but I'm going to have to be locked in that room trying to recreate a fucking conversation. But I think I can do it. I've been psyching myself up for it. And then when you were like, we could do it tonight, I was like, oh my God.
So I can see how it worked.
Yeah, I mean,
I almost wish you had done it so I can see how it worked out.
Right. So anyway, that almost happened. But we're here. We're going to try to talk about all the stuff. It'll probably be faster, hopefully. Maybe we'll cut out some of the dumb stuff. So. And we'll probably miss a lot of, almost half the stuff we talked about wasn't on a list anywhere.
That's how it goes.
So, that was just a private podcast for SoCo. A couple days ago.
As a fan of this podcast, you've had that happen before. Not the exact same reason, but where you've just lost like a whole thing of audio.
Yeah.
And then you're like, yeah, I think we talked about that earlier, but too late now because it don't exist.
Yeah. My first big fuck up.
Part of that history.
Yeah, was when Powwow came down from Tulsa. We recorded a whole episode and we just recorded my microphone twice. Like mine was selected on both tracks, so we didn't have any of Powwow's. And then I felt so bad. I think that was like one of the first times I just had I'm skipping this week. I can't. Nothing I can do.
Literal A squared.
Yeah. And then I even remember fucking with his, where I went in and turned up the background audio. I was trying to make it work, but it's like, this isn't gonna work.
Just didn't happen.
Yeah. So yeah, who knows? Like I said, what we talked about, what we'll remember. I know one thing we did talk about, and I just need to, get it right off while I'm thinking of it, is we talked about GraveyOctober. All right. And
we did. We talked about GraveyOctober.
Since then, you have even further proved my point to me on Twitter. So the big argument out there is I see Graveyard Entertainment talking about they're putting out Southern Com4rt music, Sir Nasty music, all out in October. Go check it all out. And they put hashtag GraveyOctober on everything. And I say it on this podcast because I'm literate. I can read. And then SoCo's like, it's not GraveyOctober. You'll have to say it. I can't even pronounce it.
Yeah, he can't even do it. It's GraveyOctober. It's like graveyard, but we take out the ard, and it's just GraveyOctober.
Right. So I think I understand why I don't agree with, or why this doesn't make sense to me. Was something we touched on, because I'm going to, this was a ding against me. Is you're like, gravy's not even spelled that way with an E. And we looked it up, and you're right, gravy.
Which I wasn't sure about until we talked about it. So that wasn't even a point of mine until we actually were in mid-conversation. And then I just kind of was like, well, how do you spell gravy? Because I honestly didn't even realize.
But when we were talking the other day,
it's not like I had that.
I was trying to explain how there's something about the way y'all are capitalizing certain stuff that doesn't work, but I couldn't remember because I couldn't see it in front of me. But y'all posted today. The issue I have is you capitalize the G of gravy and the O of October. When you intercap shit, that's how you read it. You can't intercap an O, but then be like, no, the Y in front of it that's lowercase is part of that Y needs to be capitalized for GraveyOctober if that's what y'all are going to do. It's just that I think is my biggest when I saw it, I was like, well, that's why I can't fucking say it, because y'all have
it's
the
fanatical. It's fanatical.
The O's cap is big. That's not how this should work if you're trying to emphasize that Y there. So I think that's where the hang up is. But I'm gonna, again, from our lost episode, I say you keep it going through Thanksgiving for GraveyOctober, or I'm sorry, Gravy November, and Thanksgiving's my favorite holiday.
Just let the gravy flow through the new year, because we all eat Thanksgiving food again in December for the most part.
Yeah.
At least most people do.
To me, in general, my idea, and I know no one does this, I think turkey's Thanksgiving, ham's Christmas, but I think every Christmas and Thanksgiving for the last 25 years, there has been both, or whatever.
It usually just ends up being both.
Yeah, there ends up being both.
Sure.
So, I'm down with either one, but yeah, shout out GraveyOctober.
And another throwback before you keep going from the pod that nobody else knows about but me and you. But I did have an apology I wanted to make at the beginning of that podcast that I don't think I made to the middle.
Right.
There were some tracks that Mo mixed for me. For those who don't know, A2thaMo, producer, rapper, podcaster. But he does 99.99999% of the beats I rap on since 2022-ish, maybe. Something like that. But
probably even earlier.
Maybe even earlier. But the last 10 or so songs that he mixed for me were part of a 2-project series, which actually should all be available right now on Bandcamp, soon to be coming to streaming. But I heard it after the mix, and because I had an issue with the speakers I was listening to it on, I thought I got a bad mix from him. And that combined with, I knew he was also working on a project with Bradster X. Shout out Bradster X, the Bros Project. Y'all need to check that out. That's BROS. But I was like, you know what? I probably shouldn't have sent him all this shit while he's in the middle of trying to finish the project. He probably just didn't have time to put the mix on that he usually does. Because Mo's mix, especially compared to mine, is phenomenal. Like, he'll say that he's not the greatest mixer. Beauty is in the ear of the beholder. I think his mixes are great. So I listened to him again on a different speaker, and I was like, oh, these shit sound great. What the fuck was I talking about? So because I didn't use his mix when I first uploaded things, I wanted to double back, apologize to Mo, and also I re-uploaded everything using his mixes because they are way better than mine. So that part now is on a podcast that everybody will see and hear.
There you go. I think we did a big talk about, I try to compare my 3 disciplines of music making: the rapping, the beats, and the mixing. And I think mixing is the hardest. I know we did cover that, something like that. As far as like knowing it's good, because you don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think when you rap,
you just don't.
In general, I think when you rap or you sing, if it's good or not. Like, you trick yourself at first.
If your delivery is how you want it.
And his, we talked about a rapper we knew named A2thaShow. Hopefully he comes back to rap music. A lot of rappers disappearing out of music lately, we mentioned, but hopefully really some guys come back. But I remember when A2thaShow was starting, he started later in life, and he was like 10 songs deep in his music career. And I kind of, speaking as the old head of the rapper group then, of like, you're gonna not like any of this. Like, you don't like any of your early stuff. Like, you might like appreciate it for nostalgia, but you're not gonna like think your lyrics or delivery was good. Like, you're gonna get so much better at this. Like, you're gonna think this is horrible.
Yeah.
And
you won't be like, this first outing of mine is a classic.
Right.
Like, it's just not gonna happen.
And so I remember him being like, dude, this is amazing. He was still in it because, that's where you're at. So you do, in the moment, you do like it. But once you have a little hindsight, you're like, oh, yeah, that was horrible. That was not good at all.
Yeah.
That's what
I'm so much better.
Yeah.
Because I definitely have the same feeling about, like, I like my earlier verses, but I like nothing about the mixes or some of the beats. And even some parts of the verses, I'm like, oh, I could have said that better, could have done that better. So, yeah, it's hard to love your earlier works.
Right. Well, I was thinking recently I've been trying to get back into music. I've been recording some stuff, and I did a verse for the homie Corey, who was on Retrograde, and
shout out Corey.
They had sent me 2 songs, that's if I do one of them, and I was like, yeah, I can probably do this one. And in the moment, out of the 2, that one did sound better, like beat wise or whatever. But I really struggle. It's probably a weakness, man. I do struggle with people's beats that aren't mine. Like, I've gotten very comfortable with my own beats, and I know my pocket immediately that I'm going to do on this beat. I've heard it a million times. And so I was like, well, I'll try to do it. And whenever I went to record it, it sucked. It was horrible. It wasn't good at all, but I sent it to him, And then I was like, cool. Hold on, let me send you like I'm gonna do another take tomorrow, and I'll send you a second version because that does suck. And they were like, yeah, the second one is better. But in that time, I was like, God, I fucking can't do this beat. You know, it was just too repetitive or whatever. And they're like, well, you can just, we don't have to do it. And I was like, no, it's fine. You know, but I was being like kind of probably annoyed by it.
Critical of yourself.
Yeah, like I was just like, I don't think. So I don't know if that'll, and I told Corey, like, you can just not, if this isn't good, you can cut it. I'm not going to be offended. You know, I'll leave the balls in your court at this one. But, and then like last week, I did a song that, you know, was on some sad, depressing shit. Basically everything I'm making right now is on that sad, depressing shit. And I was like, I'd have never heard Corey on a song like that. But let me see, you know, and I sent over and they're like, they within 24 hours did a verse. And then I did another sad song and was like, you know what? I bet H2 would do this. And with 24 hours, he sent me a verse. So I like, you know, you feel good when you send someone something and you like, and they respond so quickly. Not that I never do it that fast. You know, I'm not saying like you have to, but there is something like, ooh, I chose the right person.
Bad at it lately.
Like I knew they would vibe to this or whatever, you know?
Yeah, you definitely got an ear for, you know, what beats you make and who out of who you've worked with will fit best on them. You kill that for sure.
Yeah, I try. I mean, some people don't listen to me, you know, they don't take the advice. All right, one thing we talked about later on in the episode earlier, but I'm going to try to knock this out real quick and then we'll get to a song. Just because this is a hot topic. When I was at work this morning, people were talking about it. I was like, oh shit, I guess this is like the thing. We talked about the ICE agents. And the way I really brought it up was me and Soko, I know I liked, I'm pretty sure you did too, like the Watchmen TV show on HBO. You know,
with the masks.
Yeah, I was a big fan of that. But the cops wear masks in that. And there's something about the ICE agents wearing masks that like reminds you of that. And just something about, I remember one of my big points about earlier was just something about the way the ICE agents wear masks, yet they're supposed to be the good guys. Just doesn't feel right. Yeah. It doesn't, for them to be like,
there's a certain level of shame to it. Like they know what they're doing isn't right.
Exactly. Now, the thing I talked about people at work this morning, because I think I get on this podcast and I really do try to be like in the middle, or even sometimes show the conservative point, because I know I have liberal listeners, or if I have like a liberal person on or conservative, you know, I try to do the opposite of stuff. That's kind of how I'm. But, you know, I realize I am a lot more liberal than these people where I live at in Oklahoma, because I'm like, I don't know. I don't think I should just be taking some guy out of his home that's lived here for 20 years just working a job, you know, and they'll be like, oh, but he came over illegal. That's the illegal part. And I'm like, yeah, but if the only thing illegal they did was cross the border and they did nothing else and they never, you know, no violent crimes, didn't sell drugs or any of that.
Exactly.
They
contributed to society once they got
here. I really don't want them to be. I don't think we should waste our tax money and our resources on people doing that. You know, if you want to look at it from like just a money standpoint, if you don't want it to be like any morals, I just think like that's a bad waste of money. You know, that's like whenever they're throwing jaywalkers in jail and letting pedophiles go free, you know, or whatever. It's just like, that ain't how we want to do it. So there's something about that I don't necessarily agree with. But yeah, a lot of people, they're just like, well, Trump ran on this. That's what he said. But Trump ran on like they're getting MS-13 gang members out. And then even I think even
all the
Trump supporters now,
the rapists and the murderers and all that.
And I even think Trump supporters now agree when they see these stories. They're like, yeah, that is kind of fucked. Even if they don't like admit, I think they have to know, you know, you see like a dad of some kids or whatever, just get, you know, never coming home or whatever. That's pretty fucked up, you know? And then,
well, it's turning into one of those things where like the idea of it makes a lot more sense than the actual like execution of it. Like once the idea becomes real, I think anybody you get in a room, not on camera, will admit that, this is not the idea or the ideal that we thought it was.
Right.
Like there's no, like everybody's picturing like a broom in a dustpan and sweeping up all the bad immigrants and sweeping them up and dumping them out. Like they're not thinking about the real life of, oh, you're going to have to like kick down doors and arrest people who are just living their life and like who have friends and neighbors and, you know, they're working jobs. They're just doing regular shit.
Well,
and you're really doing it for the most part for no reason, like just because you can.
I don't think it's for no reason. I do think I'm glad you said it that way, because I like doing all the sides if I can.
Yeah, let's do it.
I do think a big part of this does lie on Joe Biden's administration and the Democrats when he was president. I do think there's a big part of the fact they opened up a border and we had like 10,000 people a day or whatever the fuck the numbers are. I know there was something crazy. Just being able to walk in. And then we got fed those videos, right? Like on your algorithm, you're fed a video of just masses and masses of people just walking into the country. And then you're getting hit with news stories of, oh yeah, by the way, they're busing them to big cities. They're getting put in luxury hotels. They get $2,000 checks every month, free food, all the stuff they could want for 2 years. I think when you see that, it does then lead people like, fuck yeah, round them up and kick them out. But then what happens in practice is it's none of those people that are round up and get kicked out. It's, again, like we said, people that have lived here 20 years working jobs, which like, we're all like, go kick out the freeloaders and the skyscrapers getting the checks, like that's what, if we're going to kick people out, let's do the ones that, and then I even said this when Trump won, like, I think as soon as Biden opened the border and let them walk in, I don't think that's criminal. Just like I don't think the January 6ers that walked into the Congress houses after the cops opened the doors should be criminal. You know what I mean? Like there is something about when someone opens it, then now, well, they're not really breaking and entering. There's someone fucking opened the door for them. So I don't know. It's very layered, and both sides are wrong, but they use it.
Now, I will say what you do once you enter can change that.
Yeah.
Because even if they open the doors, like if you go in there and then you start fucking shit up, that's different than if they open the doors and then later they're like, well, you shouldn't have been in here, but you didn't do shit, Right. But if you do wrong shit, once you come through an open door,
I think they got that shit on the desk.
Whatever you got to do.
I think he probably should have gotten in trouble. I think the person that stole people's mail.
Whatever that crime is called, indecent feces or whatever.
But I think the people that were just walking through, and I think it's come out there was like 240 FBI agents in the rally. And so, I don't know, it's fun stuff. Maybe I'll look into more of that. All right, let's play a song. I'm sure there was more of the immigrant thing we'd mentioned before.
Music.
But basically before it was just like, I get it, but I don't feel good about it. I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But also, we shouldn't let them all in the first place. There's probably some middle area here that people aren't wanting to admit.
There's some chicken and the egg logic to it. Like
right.
What created a problem created, or a solution created a problem created
I listened to a great podcast years ago about when it all changed, and we used to have an open border with Mexico the way we kind of do with Canada, and what would happen is seasonal workers would come in from Mexico and work the fields, and then they would go home. And then because it was just like they could come and go, that's just kind of what happened. And then as soon as there was this old Marine guy that was like trying to retire, but they posted him up in charge of the southern border, and then he like really militarized the whole thing. And then that kind of changed everything. So once they locked it down, people were scared to go back home. So then when they come over, they stay here, And that's kind of when it all changed. But anyway, not important. We're playing songs, damn it.
Hey, we are a music podcast amongst other things.
That's right.
But we do talk politics. I'm feeling patriotic and political right now.
Well, because I could see the last time we recorded numbers, we are actually further into the episode than we were last time when we played a song, and we were going to say this is going to be faster. So we gotta step.
Victory. Hey, so far we're doing
the
well.
Next segment.
Keep that momentum going, baby.
That's right. All right, first song we're going with, and I did not have things pulled up, but I will get there. Don't y'all worry. Darn it. We're going with Sir Nasty off of his new album called Dealing With My Problems.
He's dealing with it. It's the third in a trilogy, the final.
And the name of the song is Kill You For Nothing. I guess nothing.
Wonder what that's going to be about.
There is a G on the end there. Let's give it a listen.
Well, that's good.
Y'all niggas hurry up. Go in there, book them niggas, and get the fuck out. Don't be playing.
Yeah, I want to know if you ready to do this shit. Is you ready to do this shit or what, motherfucker?
I'm strapped up and got my mask on. Jason gang, tell them niggas bring their ass on. You hit them shots and get your 100-yard dash on. We OGs, lil nigga, take your ass home. Niggas know it's on when we slide through. Fuck your homeboys, my homeboys died too. And fuck your family, my family cried too. Niggas say they riders, yeah, we ride too. Let go. Fuck calling the law, we don't trust cops. Early morning pulling up at niggas bus stops. I'm from the dirty, heard what I said. We do you niggas dirty, that's on dirty red.
Kill them niggas.
My OG niggas know I'm with this shit. If you a hitter, nigga, know that hitters get hit. If you a killer, nigga, know that killers get killed. I still have nightmares, I live this shit for real. You fuck with one of mine and something gotta die. Get him before the cops, you know I gotta try. Blow your brains out in broad daylight. Now they crying, talking about that shit ain't right. I ain't gotta put no bread on your head. If niggas want you dead, that's on the gang, they kill you for nothing. I ain't gotta put no bread on your head. If niggas want you dead, that's on the gang, they kill you for nothing. I ain't gotta put no bread on your head. If niggas want you dead, that's on the gang, they kill you for nothing. I ain't gotta put no bread on your head. If niggas want you dead, that's on the gang, they kill you for nothing. My stomach weak, a nigga can't eat. You know it's hard to sleep when it's real beef. Stand down, I said chill, niggas. My lil niggas, they ready to kill niggas. They do it out of loyalty. Motherfucker, you in the presence of royalty. Battle me, you better pick a coffin, nigga. I get turned on when it's time to go and alpha, nigga. Don't quote me, I ain't said nothing. But his kids is convinced that I did something. Come on. But they gon' have to prove it in the courtroom. I know they mashed that nigga brains like a mushroom. My niggas got mops and they got brooms. Murder house, nigga, we'll come and clean your house. When it come to fam, we don't keep score. And we don't give a damn when it's time for war. You lil niggas wanna start a war. Lil Nasty told them niggas start the war. Sir Nasty done got his money right. It's red rum, get your money right. I ain't gotta put no bread on your head. If niggas want you dead, that's on the gang, they kill you for nothing. I ain't gotta put no bread on your head. If niggas want you dead, that's on the gang, they kill you for nothing. I ain't gotta put no bread on your head. If niggas want you dead, that's on the gang, they kill you for nothing. I ain't gotta put no bread on your head. If niggas want you dead, that's on the gang, they kill you for nothing.
Sir Nasty, kill you for nothing. Doesn't have to put bread on your head.
People will kill you for free. No dough needed, no yeast, no leaven. Don't need any of it. They'll kill you for nothing.
Yeah, I remember this exact conversation last time. I was like, you say that. I don't witness that type of mentality often in my life. I'm not saying it's not out there, just the life I live, I don't see much. I don't think I meet many murderers in my day-to-day life.
And then we went into how you are not as in closer proximity as we thought to the first 48 episodes.
Yeah,
that make it seem like Oklahoma is filled with killers.
But even like you and Sir Nasty, of course, mentioned the first 48, and I've seen it briefly mentioned on the internet before of like people scared of Tulsa. And Powell lives up there. It's just not a scary place. I don't know. Tulsa's not very scary. I've been in some bad areas for sure. I've been in bad areas in a few towns in Oklahoma, so there's bad areas everywhere.
Everywhere.
That's where you had to go to buy drugs back in the day.
Now you can get drugs from fancy areas.
Yeah, now you can go to a store.
Areas.
You go to a store and do it. Something I didn't talk about last time, but I would love to talk about. The first time I seen cocaine, and in person was a very fun time. I've seen it a few times in my life, but I had this friend that moved to my hometown our senior year of high school. He got in trouble with drugs and shit, and then he had to come move with his aunt and uncle. So they put him in a small ass town in Waurika, and then I started smoking weed my senior year a little bit, and then finally one day I just looked at this guy. And I go, hey, man, you want to smoke some weed? And he was like, I've been waiting 10 months for someone to ask me this fucking, or however long he'd lived there, And so his name was Preston. I don't want to try to put him on blast, but I mean, anyone that's from my hometown would know who it is, given the description. But yeah, he had like a bulldog face. I'm not trying to be like, ladies liked him anyway, but he had like some sort of like mean looking about his face all the time. But he was really good at sports. He was actually, I guess, like D1 level prospect at soccer, but we didn't have soccer at my school. So he played football and basketball and was really good at both of those, like without, because we're a small school and stuff. And so people liked him well enough. But I really started hanging out with him, let's say probably like the spring of senior, like the last few months of my senior year. And anyway, randomly one night, he's like, hey, let's go down to, it's not Dallas. The town's called Louisville, but it's right outside of Dallas. and that's where he was from. He's like, we're gonna go down there and we're gonna get some coke. We're gonna fucking have a good time. And for some reason, I was like, this sounds like fun. So I go down there, and it's me, him, our friend Jonathan, who's like my best friend in high school, and this guy that I don't know who's from Dallas, and then his coke-headed girlfriend. So there's 5 of us in this truck. It's like an extended cab truck. And we go to the richest fucking neighborhood, in the area. And this black kid comes out of this really nice like mansion, and he gets in the back seat with me. And so it's just me and him in the back seat. I've never seen coke. I don't understand how much it costs for how much, But I remember we were buying an 8-ball for $100. An 8-ball, I believe, is 3.5 grams. It could be wrong, but I believe I'm correct on that.
Sounds like a good deal, but I don't know either.
Drug people. And anyway, so
y'all tell me.
This dude, like, he has it's bigger than a softball, closer to a volleyball size rock, like a cocaine mound. I'm for a video about this big, said almost the size of a volleyball, bigger than a softball. And I see him pull it out. I don't really think anything of it because, again, at this time, I've never, I'm not experienced with any of this. And he like puts off the smallest amount, weighs it, and he's like, is this good? Ask me what it says, and I, vouch for it. And then we spend $100 and we buy this 8-ball of coke. And then we drop him back off. And I was like, that dude probably had if he sold 8 balls for $100, he probably had $100,000 of cocaine on it. Like, it was an insane amount of coke. Like, I still have always thought about it. Like, I've never seen anything like it before. But I just remember we picked him up in this really rich neighborhood. And then, and then we dropped him back off there. And it was like, I've always wondered, like, was he a rich black kid that was like trying to live the street lifestyle he third through rap music, or was his family rich through drugs and he was keeping the family thing going? Like, I've always debated this or whatever in that moment. Anyway, coke was great. It was a good time. I mean, like, not endorsing it, but I wouldn't do it now because the fentanyl, like that's a whole thing. But
stranger danger.
I remember we done it in a soccer field. Like, there was all these soccer games going on. Again, this kid likes soccer, and we did a little bit of it. And then we went to someone's house or apartment and did the rest. And I immediately was like, ooh, I shouldn't do this. I feel too good. Like, I'm so happy. I've never been this happy before. But I was like aware of it in the moment. Like, I got to be careful with this. This is amazing, And then I was always pretty good about it, but I definitely knew people who that like immediately led to more harder drugs.
Went over the hill.
Then and forever.
Just went right off the cliff with it.
Yeah. I was like, I remember coming down and feeling sad. I remember like telling like friends of mine, like, I don't think it's worth it. You're like borrowing happiness from tomorrow for today. Like, I was trying to be all deep about it and shit. And I start.
It's a happiness loan that you have to pay back.
It's basically what it is. It's basically what it is. And it's hard because, there's all these different speedy drugs. I've done a lot of them really over the years, and they're all slightly different, like one of my favorite stories told many times, I won't do it again, but when I was pledging a fraternity, we had this sneak night where they kidnap a pledge brother of yours, and you got to go on a scavenger hunt all across the state to find your pledge brother. And my night was epic. Maybe someday I'll retell a story or whatever, but one of the steps of that was Powell was like, hey, I have these amphetamines my grandpa gave me. He works on the train in 48-hour shifts. And he said, if I ever needed this to study, do you want to take one? I was like, fuck yeah. And then the whole night I'm just fucking shaking. Like, my whole body's just fucking, I'm ready, bro. Like, and we were fucking drinking and smoking and running all across the state of Oklahoma. And I'm on fucking speed, doing fucking shots Kentucky Deluxe. Like, oh man, it was fun. It was like a great memory, but in the moment, it was like, that was so stupid. But like, it was kind of worth it for now to have the memory.
You think of all the ways it could have went wrong, but it's great because it didn't go wrong.
Yeah, one of the things that sticks out to me, and I think this will work because you're a black guy, you'll kind of get it a little bit. But one of my friends, LV, he's the one that's in jail for like 60 plus years. Talked about him on episode 3 of this podcast. You should go watch that episode if you missed it. And anyway, he was joining the fraternity with us. We had a few black dudes in my pledge class, but a lot of the random white guys are gonna do shit like, I'm going to moon you going down the road because we're going to like on the highway to other towns and shit, right? And so they're like mooning each other with their hairy assholes. And then like they're like, I'm hanging brain, which is like they're showing their testicles off or whatever.
Nuts.
Shit like that.
Batman.
And that's not stuff I do, by the way. I'm not that type of white. But I'm witnessing it all. And then LV's in the back of our car and he's like, oh, I'll fucking get him. And to him, he's like, I'm pulling out my dick. Look how big my dick is. And I'm like, dude, that's not how this game works. You think the game's showing off your dick? That's not what the game is. They're showing off their buttholes and testicles. You don't understand. And he's like, I just always thought, I was like, there's some weird cultural divide. He's like, I'm gonna show him my big dick. And we're like, dude, get your dick, put your dick in your pants. We're in the car with you.
Buttholes only, man.
If you want to bend over and show them your butthole, fine. I'm not trying to see your dick in the car.
Oh man, that is true.
So,
once the dick is out, it takes it to a different level.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we talked about TV shows last time. I think I still have my list. I don't think I deleted any. We'll be quick about it. If you remember yours, you can totally do them.
For the most part.
All right.
If I end up skipping one or so, it ain't no big deal.
All right.
I remember the main one.
First one I'm gonna start with is Big Brother. Big Brother ended.
Big Brother.
It was season 26 or something. I don't remember exactly what season it was, but it's great. I've watched since season 1. I've been watching. My mom watches it, so I have to keep up with her, and then my wife has watched it with me every year since I've known her. So she kind of gets offended when I act like she's not as big of a fan. She's like, I've been watching this, so you got to make sure to not act like I'm superior. But I have Paramount Plus, and I kind of want to go back and watch the old. I've watched a few of the old seasons, and they were way better back in the day. They're just so polished now that they did lose something that was like really more fun about our eras of reality shows.
They lost their grittiness.
Yeah. And it used to be a lot more like raunchier and just people just spoke their. There was like an old Marine guy in season 5 who was just openly racist. And like there were just different moments where you're like, oh my God, this is wild. This is America or whatever. Right now it's like it's all people that want to be like social media influencers. So they're like safe in some sort of way.
Thinking about their careers after Big Brother.
Yeah. So
like nobody thought about what the launching pad that Big Brother could be when it first started. It was just you were on Big Brother. Like that was the destination.
You made it.
Now people are like, nah, Big Brother's just a stop that's gonna push me to my destination.
Yeah, like if they're like a big workout person, they're going on there trying to like become a gym influencer afterwards or whatever. But yeah, anyway, this show was pretty good this year. I mean, I'm hating on a lot, but it was actually a pretty good season as far as like entertaining week to week stuff happening. Now, the person that won at the end, I don't think deserved it, and they've kind of been a sore winner about it. Like how I don't know, I don't like a sore winner myself. Sore loser I get, but a sore winner is just like, well, you won, just shut up. You won $750,000. Just go. You don't have to talk shit about everything.
Yeah, relax.
And so that is my thought there. But yeah, Big Brother was very good. Next season, if you have Paramount Plus, you should give it a shot.
And I'm going to stay on Paramount Plus because I did, and I actually finished it since the last time we talked, but I finished up Mobland with Pierce Brosnan and a bunch of other famous actors that I don't remember their names, but if you watch the show, you'll recognize pretty much everybody on it. But I'm into mob movies, and so a mob show just kind of fits that. It's Irish mob. Definitely have to make that a distinction because my wife came in on me watching and she was like, so such and such is Italian? And she was talking about Pierce Brosnan. I was like, did you listen to them talking? I'm like, no, they're fucking Irish. What are you talking about? She's like, but you said it was about the mafia. And I was like, no, there's mobs in every culture. Yeah. Like, it's not just Italians.
I actually talk about that a lot.
It's not restricted
at
to
my
them.
job because, I be getting on rants. That's the reason I have a podcast, but it happens in real life too. But I'm always like, yeah, people forget about the Italian, or there's an Italian mob, a Jewish mob, the Irish mob, the black
Irish
mob. I mean, there was they had to. They all had, like, especially during the Prohibition era, all that stuff where they're running alcohol and drugs.
Yeah, Yakuza. Like, there's, every culture has a mob.
Yeah. So it is something that's often forgot about. And then I think a lot of times when people are like, the Jews did this or that, they really mean like the Jewish mafia. But they're like not thought of as that way or whatever. But like that's famously who they say rigged the World Series in 1918, the shoeless Joe Jackson. It's like real famous for, maybe it's 19, whatever fucking year it was back then. Everyone, word is the Jewish mafia is the one that rigged that stuff. All right.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. So Mobland, you say, is good. Did you give that a good rating?
Yeah. I enjoy Mobland, and kind of like we talked about before, like Paramount to me doesn't make bad shows. You just into the topic or the time, or you're not. Like they don't have like just shitty shows as far as like their bigger stuff. Like they definitely have production, and you know the actors are great in it. Like there's no janky shows on Paramount. It's just you're either into the topic or you're not.
Yeah,
like,
I only watch reality shows on Paramount for the most part. My wife did watch this show called something about wives killing husbands is like in the title, but I can't remember the name of it at the moment. There's 2 seasons of it, and they're like period pieces where, you know, the guys cheat on their wives and the women are get revenge or some shit that I should be worried about. But
yeah, it's like my wife watches all.
I think it's called How Women Kill
murder
or something.
Murder stuff. Yeah,
it was
all the A&E
pretty
stuff.
good. Yeah, my mom watches all that shit. My dad's always like, "God damn it, Pam, watching them murder shows."
Why are you into this?
It's always fun.
Why are you? So
which reminds me, I
into
got to talk about them before we get on with the segment because I forgot that last time. All right, let's see what's next on my list. I said we're going fast, and I'm not doing it at all. Next, I got Peacemaker, which was also on your list.
Hey, and that's on mine too.
So I've watched both seasons of Peacemaker since the last time we talked. Season 1 and 2, I do think are kind of separate things in a way because season 1 was made back before DC decided to switch over to the James Gunn DC universe or whatever. And it's like one of the few things that carried over. But I don't think, as someone who I didn't watch all the old Man of Steel and Batman versus Superman shit, you know, it didn't matter to me at all. You know, I watched season 1. I thought it was really good. Didn't even fucking, I don't know. I didn't think about it once.
It stands on its own just fine.
Yeah, I agree. And I mentioned how Peacemaker really wasn't even my type of thing. I don't really like 80s rock white guy stuff. I famously tell a lot of people, this podcast and in real life, how I don't really like rock music. Like that sort of white guy guitar stuff does not hit my soul like some other white guys I know. And I'm like, God, this sounds horrible. Whereas if I'm going to listen, if I was alive in like the 60s or 70s when the rock shit was going off, I would have been listening to Motown. Like I just know that's the lane I would have been in. Like I just, you know, it doesn't hit me like that. But saying
Motown,
I'm just saying, saying all that, I liked Peacemaker, even though it has that aesthetic. You know, it's definitely going for that sort of 80s vibe. But John Cena, me and my wife really liked in the movie Ricky Stenicki, so she was down to give it a shot. She really liked this show. She liked it more than me at first. She was like, hell yeah, this is good. And so that kind of kept us watching it. And yeah, we really liked Peacemaker. I'm kind of bummed since last time we talked, I've really seen where people really hate the finale of season 2. Like, it's the lowest rated. They're like, canceled all the fucking movies. James Gunn can't be trusted. He's ruining these shows. I didn't mind it at all. Like, I thought it was, I don't know. Really?
Yeah, people make too big a deal out of stuff.
I would say it did have that kind of Game of Thrones thing where, like, in Game of Thrones, famously, the next to last episode of every season is the big episode. And then the last episode is kind of like just to wrap stuff up.
Throw away.
And that's kind of how this one was. It was like, let's just wrap all this up. So in some way I could see that, but people are mad at like the plot direction, you know, and you're like, just give them a chance. Let them figure, I don't know, wait till the fucking next part or something.
Let them cook. You know, you complain about the meal before it's even done.
Yeah.
See how it ends.
I think it's very good. Both seasons. So yeah, highly recommend Peacemaker myself.
For sure. I'm with you on that one.
And then another one I got here, and then I'll kick over to you for a few, is a show I've only watched one episode of, but it's on Paramount Plus, as we had been talking about it. And Peacemaker, by the way, is on HBO Max, or whatever the fuck they're calling it these days.
Yes, it is.
And anyway, the show I'm watching on Paramount Plus, one episode so far, is called I'm Dying Up Here, and it's a stand-up comedy show set in the 70s. And the cast is really good. I know like everybody in the cast, and except the main character. And I like the idea of watching the show. It's just, I really didn't like the main character. She just doesn't seem like a star or like someone that makes you want to watch the show. I don't know how to describe it. So I probably will try to give it another shot, but I really like all the side characters. You know, it's just the main character. I was like, I don't know if I care that much. So anyway, I might get back to it. Maybe not. We'll see. I'm dying up here. All right. What's on?
Yeah, it's tough when you don't get into the main character.
Yeah.
Like,
there's a couple of shows I have, like True Blood. I hate the main character, but I still thought the show was fine. There's been a handful of others that my wife likes the show Gilmore Girls, And I think Rory, who's like one of the main two characters, is like one of the worst characters ever been on a TV show. But the show's still fine. You know, it's a decent enough show.
Yeah, he doesn't ruin it.
It's not my thing, but so anyway. All right, what you got on your list here? I know you had some stuff.
All right, I'm gonna jump to a movie, and this is also on Paramount Plus. This is my Paramount day, but Naked Gun, the new Naked Gun with Liam Neeson, really disappointed me. Which I think I went into it not expecting to love it, because I really love the original Naked Gun series.
Me too.
Like all of them, like I enjoyed it. This one it didn't do it for me. It was on. It was like background. Like I zoned out of it many times. I don't think that kind of movie works now, because there's so much variety in entertainment that you can't really expect everybody to be on the same wave with like what you're trying to make fun of.
Right.
Like Naked Gun was great because everybody knew the fucking scene from Ghost.
Right.
And so they knew, like, when you're making fun of that, it's just known. Like, once you get to a point where there's so much shit out that you're like, okay, what exactly are they supposed to be making fun of? Or are they trying to be original? Which, if they're trying to be original, to me, that's a mistake. Like, Naked Gun was all about, like, okay,
I don't know.
Can I reference what they're making fun of?
I don't think Naked Gun was
genre.
I personally don't think Naked Gun was 100% satire. I think it was like half satire.
I said 85.
Half kind of whatever that airplane humor is, you know, where it's like, don't call me Shirley. You know, like the shit that's like, oh, that's a funny word joke, but it's like not like.
But see, Airplane was a satire movie. Like, that's what I mean. Like,
yeah, but not all of it. Like the Shirley fucking thing isn't
hard.
like, oh, that's a reference to this, and someone's gonna be like, actually, it is. But
well, it's like a dad joke reference, though.
I don't know. To me, the scary movies are sad because like every scene is reference to a thing. I guess I didn't read or if Naked Gun was, it didn't matter because I was a fucking 4 years old, so like I didn't know. You know, I didn't know what the reference was.
What it referred to necessarily.
In general, I would say my two thoughts on the new Naked Gun and the old one. I really like the original Naked Gun. It was, if you have those, I'm sure you've seen the meme where it's like, they'll use like being a millennial, but I'm going to say being an 80s baby. Like part of that is that whenever you would be at your grandparents' house, they would have like 6 VHS tapes, and that's what you had to watch, you know? And one of those movies in my memory was Naked Gun. I remember my grandma Naked Gun, Mission Impossible. There's a movie I've looked up a million times and I don't remember the name of it, but I want to say it's called Homeless in Beverly Hills, something like that. And it starts off with a homeless man filling his pockets full of rocks and jumping in a rich person's pool to kill himself on Thanksgiving. And I love that movie. And I'm like, I wonder if that impacted me at all. But yeah, so I loved Naked Gun as a kid. I thought it was very funny. You know, half the jokes I'm sure I didn't get, you know, in the moment or whatever. But really my big deal with it is I don't think Liam Neeson should be the guy. And people are like, no, it's perfect because he is an action star. And you're like, no, that's not how you do it. You do a fucking comedian.
Yeah, that wasn't the point. Yeah. Even though I've heard podcasts where they do say that Leslie Nielsen was a serious actor before he got into those movies. Like he wasn't known for being like
he was in Police Squad,
deadpan comedy guy. But then he once he hit Police Squad, that became what he was known for. But he had like serious movies before that where he was like when you watch him now, you're like, well, I can't take you serious because I know you from Naked Gun and Police Squad type shit. But like he actually had movies where it was like, oh, you're playing a serious role. Not like an action star by any means, but
honestly, I would have said
he wasn't supposed to be funny.
John Hamm would have been better. Like if I had to, I'm trying to think of other older kind of guy. Like because Liam Neeson has been in so many action movies. That's why I'm like, well, I don't care. You've been in like fucking so many of these. I don't know. I'm not a big Liam Neeson fan either. Just in general, I know a lot of people really like him, but and I know you're like things artists do out of their creative endeavor shouldn't matter. But he had that whole interview where he's like, I went out in the streets looking for darkies to beat up.
To kill a random
and I'm like,
what?
What the fuck?
Yeah, somebody raped my friend and I just want to go fight and kill a black guy.
Yeah, you're like, what the fuck? So,
like, whoa.
I don't want to hold that against him, but I do always remember it. I'm like, you remember that shit?
Yeah, it's definitely a part of his legacy.
All right, what's next on your list?
From now on. I'm going to jump to Netflix. One of the Korean movies or Korean shows that I used to avoid, but it's called Alice in Borderland. Just one of those Squid Game type deals where like a bunch of people are put in situations where it's like survival of the fittest, and it's game style, and it's half part sci-fi,
Gangnam
part
style,
fucked up rich people you never really know, or Gundam style, exactly. But yeah, I got into those, and so that sent me down a rabbit hole of just watching a couple different, dubbed movies that probably a year or two ago I would have avoided at all costs, but I actually dug them. I am one of the people now that watches everything with captions on. I was vehemently against it for a long time, but now I've succumbed, and I'm one of those people.
There was a time in my life, I feel like there was a year or two, I was around someone that did, like, for some reason I remember there being a lot of captions around, but I haven't lately. So I could go either way. I think my problem with captions is the same issue I have when I play video games, when it's voice acted, but I always turn on the subtitles there, but I am going to read faster than they talk. And so I'm going to ruin it. I spoil myself just constantly. And you're like, I don't know why I do it. So there's like something in my brain's like, quit doing that shit. All right. I had two more on my list. Do you have another one?
Nah, you can run it.
All right. We got Abbott Elementary back.
Oh, yeah.
On Hulu. Also, I think the last season is also on HBO Max. But
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think there's like a season, but they don't play them currently. But like once they become old, the old season, I'm pretty sure that's how they do it. So anyway, Abbott Elementary,
the new syndication.
I want to say the first two seasons I really liked. Third season was the one I kind of fell off on, and then I hadn't watched season 4, and then they just started season 5, something like that. But I could be off a season number there. But yeah, we're catching up. We are, I think, through maybe the Halloween or Thanksgiving of last season's episodes. We made it through the Always Sunny in Philadelphia crossover, which I think could have been better. I kind of feel like it was a little bit of a waste, but my wife really enjoyed the Charlie Day learning to read story. And I also thought it was very funny because that's one of my favorite parts of Always Sunny is that Charlie can't read. And so I did think that was great, but it was funny because my wife hates Charlie. Like the reason I don't get to watch Always Sunny is because my wife hates Charlie and she can't stand his voice. But then when he was on Abbott Elementary, it was like her favorite storyline of that episode. So, which honestly was the only good storyline. All the rest were kind of whatever. I don't know. D trying to steal the Gregory was kind of funny too. But anyway, so I really liked Abbott Elementary. It's more wholesome. I like to think of
D did her D thing. That's kind of her move.
I think I mentioned this last time. I think it's kind of like, I think of it as a lot of people say the Black Office, and maybe I have in the past, but I don't think it's that. I think it's definitely more the Black Parks and Rec. Now Parks and Rec, of course, is about politics and has, a bigger range of things because, they're out in a whole city. But I do think, I can't remember Janine, the main character of Alvin. I think she's very similar to Leslie Knope. Like they have a sort of optimistic innocence to them. Yeah. And then, they're kind of the male guy they get with. There's not really a lot of drama around. It just kind of happens. And then they're kind of a sweetheart, like, I don't know. And then they're like the other people are the mean ones, that bring the comedy or whatever. So I just think that's probably a little closer to, if you're comparing it to another show. So yeah, Abbott Elementary, very good. Like I said, a little more wholesome. And then another school-based show that we are loving in my household is a FX show that's on Hulu called English Teacher. Season 2 just came out. Season 1 is also very funny. I recommended that back when it was coming on. And it follows this gay teacher named Evan, I believe his name is. And then he has a friend, Gwen. And then Marky is like the gym teacher. And principal is also funny. And so, you're following these people in a school. It is not mockumentary style. Like, you don't interview them on the side. It's kind of filmed like a movie. It is really... because we were watching an episode earlier before we done this, we were eating dinner, and I was like, it really is keeping just the classic comedy thing. Like, there aren't very many good comedies. They don't exist anymore, and this really is good. And it kind of bums me out that more people aren't watching it because it's like it deserves to get a lot of recognition. It's better than a lot of comedies that people will be like, no, that show's like a lot of people love The League when it happened, and I watched every episode of The League. Don't get me wrong, because I was a fantasy football fan and, I like the show, but it's like, this show's way better than The League. You know what I mean? And it's like, no one's ever fucking mentioned it or whatever. So, anyway, English. Now my wife is an English teacher And so that, definitely puts out close to home. Kind of the basis of the humor
personal twist
is
on it.
always, it does lean a little political. So some people like or not like that, but they do kind of cover all the sides. I feel like, I was mentioning 2 episodes to you last time we talked about it. One was like the gay teacher wants to do some play about AIDS in the 80s, but the kids are like, I don't care. We want to do a play about COVID. That's real. AIDS isn't real. Like they just don't.
Yeah, that's more real.
They don't care because it's and then he's like offended, but he's like they're speaking their truth. And it's like it's like they play on that kind of funny. And I don't remember what the other one I described to you was, but he always kind of. There's always some way that he like kind of approaches it from some woke perspective, and then the kids go even more woke, and then Marky, who's like the conservative guy, has to be like, God, they got to put guards on the borders, or whatever. And he'll make some point about using the conservative angle, and but it's always done with a lot of humor, like it doesn't ever. I don't feel like it's ever preaching. The guy, the main guy who's gay, who's doing all the preaching. He's looked at as being a douchebag for it. You know what I mean? Like he is the butt of the joke. He isn't like, yes, thank you. So I just think they handle it really well. And, that's, if there's one show that I think people really should give a shot, it is English Teacher. There we go.
All right. You heard it here first. A2thaShow. Go watch the English Teacher. Keep it on the air. Real comedy.
And then the one thing I needed to talk about last time, I totally forgot, but I'm going to squeeze on here, is this last weekend, I did go see my mother and father as well, but my parents, and they finally made the switch from satellite to streaming, and so I had to be present for this.
Big news.
Nice. We had talked about it a few weeks ago, and I told them, I was like, well, you're gonna need like a smart TV. Like they still had an old, a big TV, but it connected to their satellite dish. They didn't have like apps and shit on it, and so I had given them an old Roku that's in like a guest room where like I sleep when I go there, and that I've been logged in a couple things. And then my dad has like a Roku TV in his little den area he hangs out in, but it has no internet. Could barely fucking load any app in there. So anyway, my mom got this new TV and, they're paying like $120 a month for this fucking satellite, right? And I'm like, this is unreal. Like I just can't believe it. When I'm talking to her about it, I'm telling her about these apps and how much they cost for different ones and how like I even reference you. I go, I have a friend that he just signs up for a year at a time and he'll do a year of this and then next year he might do something else. I remember you saying you do the yearly thing. And then I was like, but you can do it by month and you can cancel anytime you want. She's like, yeah, but what about the contract penalty? And I was like, yeah, that's not a thing. That's not
a thing.
But it was so funny because that's like, that's that world. I forgot all about it.
Yeah, that's where they come from. Like that's what they feel like all TV has to be.
Yeah, and so anyway, we get there, we get the new TV set up and going, and then I get on the computer and I'm like, all right, what apps do you want? I added her to my Netflix, like you can add like another household for $6 or whatever. And I was like, well, listen, you don't have to buy a whole new one. I'll just add you to mine for $6. And then she was like, well, I'll pay you. And I was like, well, you've literally been paying for my cell phone for 20 years. I think we're good. I'll just pay for you to be on my Netflix.
We're good.
And she's watched more in the last 2 weeks than I have ever. So
how does that affect your Oklahoma Thunder games? Weren't you using
I was not
direct TV to like access that? No,
no,
what it was? Okay.
Years ago, I did, but my mom at one time, she hates sports, but I didn't watch it. She doesn't really hate it, but she doesn't watch it. And she like called and made them cancel all the sports. So a long time ago I did. And then after that, I had to move to Powwow's grandmother's account. And then they limited that. And now my mother-in-law has an account through Cox Cable that allows up to 5 people to log into her account to watch whatever. And so I'm one of those people. And I don't use it. I could use it for all the shit, but I'm like, no, I only need it for the Thunder games. I won't use it on everything. So,
that's how I got Max. I got a family member that's got Max on Cox. So I'm hoping they never eliminate it because then I'll have to figure out how to get HBO Max back.
Well, it's like
and I really
Skinny has HBO Max through his cell phone plan. It's like grandfathered in. So if you mention something on Max, like, oh yeah, I got that. I can watch that because it's just like he'll always have it forever or whatever. So anyway, go see my parents, set up their TV. We go on the computer and I'm like, what do you want? She definitely wants Paramount because my mom loves the CBS reality show. She watches all the Survivor and Big Brother and all that stuff. So I knew she'd want that. And then she had to have Discovery Plus. Now, Discovery Plus was migrated into HBO Max as one big thing, but now they're slowly separating them back out because they didn't care about. People were like, "Yeah, I don't give a shit." So we got her on Discovery Plus.
I was one of those people. I didn't care.
I had Discovery Plus a long time ago because I wanted to watch that whatever the Polyester King documentary was about the guy that was like Epstein but in Canada and drinking his own aborted fetus's blood for power, and I was like, well, I gotta watch this, and so I had to get.
I gotta know what he was about.
It was pretty good, and
oh shit.
So yeah, my mom, I knew she would need that, and then the funniest part, my dad was like, he wants to make sure he has Westerns, which there's not just like a buy Westerns sort of app, but somehow I've been trying to explain to them and people like on here, but yeah, there's these free channels with the smart TV. So if you get a Roku or a Samsung TV, because I have one of each, there's this thing that says free TV channels, and you click that, and there's like hundreds of shit. And
yeah, there's so many. And I'm pretty sure Western is a part of, like, they all got like a Western
there's like 12 Western channels. Yeah, so once I showed him that,
you can find
I thought he'd be good, but
he's in
but
heaven,
then
bro.
he really wanted the Hallmark app because he likes watching the Hallmark stuff, and I was like ragging on him pretty hardcore, like gay,
Yeah, I can see that.
I was like, you watch a fucking Hallmark movie? And my mom's like, that's what he says.
It's not the one that most people
want. And then
I
go, but does he really?
It's not everybody.
I think it was only like $6 a month, and immediately I go, Mom, cancel this shit if he doesn't watch it. I don't believe he watches it. I think he's lying to you. And so, and then as soon as we're going through like the free channels, this is after she's already bought it, and there's Hallmark channels on Roku, and my mom's like, well, what the hell's this? Why do we buy it if it's here? And I was like, well, you can't guarantee you'll always be there, but I was like, yeah, I don't think y'all should be doing it. And so,
yeah, there's like a Hallmark premium where like there's certain movies and shit you won't get, and it's probably like you could probably get away with just doing the free one. Be fine. So it's like, I don't think Hallmark has like just the best shit where you got.
So I think total, my mom is spending less than $30 right now on apps. The Discovery Plus is the biggest one because she watches like all the 90 Day Fiance and like the Happily Ever After, and any of those shows that are on TLC.
I think all the murder. Shit's
and all the ID
too.
channel stuff.
I got that from my wife at one point.
But she called.
Yeah, ID.
She called the satellite company while I was there. That she had Dish, and she called like, I'm canceling. And now I worked at a call center before, and so I'm pretty nice to people when I call because I know how it is. My mom was like the biggest cunt on the phone to these people. She's like, I've been on the phone for 15 minutes.
I don't want to extend it.
Why aren't y'all canceling it?
Cancel it.
I remember because I've been on this phone for more than 15 minutes and it's not canceled yet. And you're like, yeah, because they're gonna try to fucking get you to not, But I understand there's
they gotta offer you free months and
that's it. So
until you can get it for like $1.
They'll be like, what if we knock off
for the next 60
$40? And mom goes, well, you're 2 years too late for that one. She's just fucking one after another. And then
nailing
and then eventually
get them all.
She gets there and she's like, where do I need to mail these boxes? Where do I need? And then finally they were like, well, you can just throw them away. You don't have to mail them to us. And so before I left there, my mom, I went from $120 a month satellite bill to a $30 a month or less. I think less when I'm thinking about it. Streaming, and she was like, this is gonna be pretty cool. And they had like fiber internet, by the way, in the middle of fucking nowhere. They were like a test area to get so their internet's fast as fuck, and so they could watch all this stuff.
So
so they're doing good. And then I get home.
That's what fucks me over. My internet bill like fucks my shit up.
The next day, she calls me when I'm back home, and she was like, I'm trying to watch 90 Day Fiance, and every time I click it, it doesn't play. It just adds it to my favorites. And they bought like a Samsung TV, which I used to have, but then it broke, got power surge. So at the moment I don't have one, but I was like, all right, I don't have Discovery Plus, but let me add it to my shit so I can look at it real quick. And so I go to the app to see it, and I'm like, well, it's working fine for me. But I noticed like the bottom right corner on a Roku TV, it's like hit the star button to add to favorites. So I said, what's the bottom right say? She says, long press to add to favorites. I go, well, you're hitting the button too long. Like, you got to do a quick press to play it, but your long press will add it to your favorites. But she doesn't ever played video games. She doesn't know what the fuck a long press versus a quick press is.
That doesn't make
and she's acting like I'm fucking lying. Like, what? I don't fucking. And I was like,
what do you mean a long? I'm just pressing.
I was like, just quick, do a quick, barely hit it. And then she goes, well, it's working now. And I'm like, well, it's not that it's working now. It's working because you hit the fucking button right. Like, yeah, that was fun.
Oh,
Being a
man.
good son,
Yeah.
you know, all that.
Yeah, you gotta be. You gotta. That's awesome though. I'm happy for them because, like, yeah, I think older people, like, once they get, like, really give streaming a chance, they're always like, oh yeah, because like my in-laws, they still do like the dish thing, but like now they fuse it with apps, and like I'm like, you're really just watching the apps. Like, you gotta cancel this dish shit. You don't.
Well, that was
need
another
it.
thing
Like,
she
just
mentioned.
stop.
She was like, well, what about like before I would DVR stuff? Can I still do that? And I'm like, well, they're just there. There is no DVRing it. And then whenever
there's no need,
I'm showing like the 90-day, I'm like, all right, see this? And she's like, but I'm on the new season. I go, right, down there it's got 19 fucking seasons. Go down to season 19 or like, you know, I had to like try to explain. But it's funny because I'm like, you're so far behind on this. I didn't realize.
Yeah, you got to rewire your brain to like not think that you got to catch things live, and you got to remember where you're at. And once you start it though, it's all good because it saves it.
All right, let's play a song here.
But I can see where starting it could be trouble. Yeah,
we gotta get to it. We're going from the homie on the podcast, Southern Com4rt. He has 2 new projects out. This is on one of them. Hopefully, I'll get to the other songs if I'm sure I will. We'll see. You know, hot ticket around here.
Someday.
Exactly. All right, the name of the song we're going here is So Cold. And which one is this off of? Volume
It's So
5?
Cold. This is volume 5, song number 1, I believe, on volume 5.
Hell, yeah.
So we are kicking it off.
All right, let me pull this shit up. All right, let's give it a listen.
It's a cold world.
Yes, it is.
You better bundle up. It's a cold world.
Yes, it is.
And most don't give a.
Stay down.
It's a cold world.
It is.
You better bundle up.
Better.
It's a cold world. And it's so cold where I come from. And they don't know where I come from. And ain't no love where I come from. I can't give up where I come from. And it's so cold where I come from. And they don't know where I come from. And ain't no love where I come from. I can't give up where I come from. I come from. Life loves me sometimes. Life loves me not most times. Every day in the city where they kill and plot is so stressful. I can't take it. But it's a church on every corner here in Macon. We praying, not seeing changes. Not for the better, it's all getting worse. But I'll never settle until I'm in a hearse. Or maybe cremated. And when I finally get to heaven, I finally say I made it. And when I finally get to heaven, I finally say I made it. When I finally get to heaven, I finally say I made it. I say I made it out this cold place. I say I made it out this cold place. I say I made it out this cold place. You don't wanna run my race. Cold where I come from. And they don't know where I come from. And ain't no love where I come from. I can't give up where I come from. I come from. Life loves me sometimes. Life loves me not most times. Every city getting killed by gangs of cops. It's not right. This can't be life. This can't be the plan. I just don't understand, yeah. But maybe someday, in another place, in another time, it'll line up. When the answers we searching for find us. When the answers we searching for wind up. Right on top of us, overtaking us. Just look at how making is making us. We the faithful, but we still lost. Yes, I'm grateful, but I'm still lost. A life without God, that's the real loss. A life without God, that's the real loss. And they don't know where I come from. And ain't no love where I come from. I can't give up where I come from. I come from. SoCo Sessions, Volume 5. This is where we come from. But it's not where we gonna stay. Going somewhere better.
Southern Com4rt with SoCo.
Hey, Southern Comfort. SoCo Sessions, Volume 5 available now on streaming and on Bandcamp if you want to pay a little bit of $3 to me. And you can get that for your own personal collection. No need to worry about streaming sites ever taking it down.
That's right. That is correct. Yeah, I like So Cold. It works. The mix, whoever did that did a pretty good job.
Kudos to the mixer, whoever that may be.
My mixer.
Hopefully you're still mixing.
Because I'm a ride for my motherfucking mixer.
My mixer. Oh, man.
It's a song that keeps giving.
My mixer.
I probably reference that song so many times, at least once a year, if not more, in some sort of racial way that is probably I shouldn't do, but I feel like I'm all right.
It's fun.
I think if I was another type of
sometimes you
person,
gotta have
sure,
fun.
but I think I'm fine. I'm special. All right, here's something random I didn't bring up last time, but I had it randomly. So they're talking about racial stuff. I saw this. There's these big data centers that they're putting in Memphis and then one in Arkansas, and these both are majority black towns, and so someone was they found two different videos that were talking about this, and one was like a black guy or lady, whoever, being like, this is going to be great, positive for, this black community, bring jobs and stuff for the community. But then the other video was like, they're just putting it here to ruin our town and destroy a nice black town with this data center. This is going to ruin all of our water and all of our electricity. And they're just taking it from us because that's what the white man does. And, you watch both, they're both very convincing. And then honestly,
yeah,
who knows what'll happen?
Maybe
but it's
both.
like, whatever happens, that group's going to claim like, told you so. I told you that's what was going to happen. But
yeah. this is where it was.
But it was
always
just
going.
interesting. I was like, oh my God, I don't know which side to be on this. But I think I'm for the pro jobs. I think we're at a place in our country where we need more jobs, good jobs. I think that is more important than water in some ways. I know that's crazy to think of, but
I feel like the same argument happened like back when Amazon was doing their warehouses, wherever they were going to do them and deciding where to put them. Same thing with Walmart. Right. We had an academy here that was building a warehouse, and there's always two sides. Like there's always like the people in the surrounding area, like, hell yeah, do it. And the people who are like immediately there are like, we don't want that shit here. Like, well, it's weird. Like,
this is a way deeper conversation, but it's like the way capitalism, at least in America, works, and the way like you get rich is you find someone that's willing to do labor at a value less than what it's worth, and then you take advantage of them not knowing what their labor is worth. That's just kind of how it works. And I say as someone who does not get
you capitalize,
I don't
if you
get
will.
paid near my labor's worth. I'm not a hustler enough to get out there and make the moves like I probably should. So that's just how it goes. And so these people, like here in Oklahoma, they have like little distribution centers, so like a Walmart distribution center or a Dollar General distribution center.
That's what we got.
These people are like, oh, this is a good job. But then you ask how much they make. They're like, I'm making $13 an hour. And I'm like, well, that's good compared to your wife making minimum wage at the dollar store, but it's not really good, and they're like, but it is good because like,
and the conditions usually aren't
because
the
median average income in Oklahoma. So like, I remind myself a lot, or me and my wife, because I do our taxes and shit. And it's like, we feel so poor, but I know what the numbers are for people in Oklahoma. It's like, we are not in the bottom half for people in this state.
Yeah.
You're like,
there's a level, there's levels below that we don't want to touch.
So that's why you live in fear, even though you're not quite there, to stay away or whatever. But it's also why, like when the teachers had like a walkout here like 5 years ago or whatever, and then there's times where it's like teachers should get paid more. It's like no one gets paid good. Like it's hard to get the normal person to care when they're also getting paid so little. Yeah.
Shitty.
So, anyway, good depressing stuff. All right, what else we got on my list? I have all kinds of random stuff I never got to, or some I did. We'll see. A big deal that's been happening is there might be peace in the Middle East.
Yeah, I've seen a few tweets about such things. Not sure how
exactly
true
that's the thing. So,
but
I will say I do think it's funny that I do think if there was a Democrat president that was doing this, like Joe Biden honestly almost got this deal done about it's not even a peace treaty. It's a ceasefire, which yes, is better than them not doing a ceasefire, but it's not necessarily a peace treaty.
It's closer to peace than war.
But it's not like they solved
if you're
it
agreeing
or whatever.
To a ceasefire.
But Joe Biden apparently had this deal worked out a year ago or whatever, and Netanyahu halted it or some. That's what Democrats are claiming at the moment. But then they're not giving Trump any credit for maybe pushing it, which I do think. I think Trump being in that speech, there was some speech where he was like, "What the fuck are they doing?" And it was like he cussed them in the middle of a speech about Israel, still attacking. I was like, I do think that mattered a little bit, and I do think the sentiment on Israel, the government, and the way they're handling, mass killing all these civilians is insane. And I mean, I think there's no other way to look at it. And they're obviously an evil person in this situation, is my opinion. And so I do think the peace deal is good. And so like the ceasefire is good, but it's not going to solve anything there. It's just gone too far. Like Israel's going to take the rest of the land. They've been saying it for years, and that's what they're going to keep doing. And they're going to use the excuse of, well, America took all their fucking land from the Indians, didn't they? And y'all want to act like you're all high mind. Every country got to take their land. What, we just can't because we waited too long? Or what?
Yeah,
I mean, like that's what they're going to use. And I'm not even saying like I get it. But when I see like they're just killing children as opposed to like, listen, if you're going to be ruthless, go kidnap the people and then go fucking put them somewhere else like you would an animal, in your backyard, and you cage them and then you put them. I don't know. I mean, that would obviously be horrible, but it's better than just fucking wiping out the whole fucking murder. Like it's crazy. So, and then the fact our tax dollars go there, and then the whole country of Israel has state-funded healthcare. They have free college. They have everything we want here, except we can't have it because we spend our money sending it to them. And it's just fucking, you start being like, this is all fucking crazy.
It's a vicious cycle.
And then something I can kind of touch on with that, but I didn't want to do. It seems like every president in my at least adult lifetime has been called the Antichrist. Do you agree with that?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, to me, as far as like the first time I ever heard it, and maybe we are saying the exact same thing, but like I remember a guy I worked with trying to like convince me that Obama
I heard
was
it with George Bush too,
because he was a charismatic leader.
I heard it with George Bush as well. The George W, the one that was when I was in high school. I remember people saying he was the Antichrist. That were liberal at the time, like I remember I had a teacher that would claim these things and they'd be like, no, because of this, this, and this. And yeah, then Obama came on and that's when more the Fox News people took it on and they're like, oh, he's left-handed and he has a snake or a tongue like a snake. Like they use whatever quotes or whatever, but they all like think that. And then Trump comes here and it's like all the people that said Obama was, none of them could think it could be Trump is. And you're like, well, what about those same things of like, he comes out of nowhere and he's good with talking or what? I don't know. It's just funny how people, and then like people that aren't even religious will be like, no, Trump is the Antichrist. I'm like, you don't even go to church. Like, what is it? And
you don't believe in the Antichrist because you don't believe in the non-Antichrist.
So I don't know. It's just fun to, everyone just really harps on this Antichrist thing. The last thing we actually were talking about whenever the last podcast ended off my fuck up was the Riyadh Comedy Festival.
Oh yeah. How they started out. What was the first thing? They went for golf. Then they went to boxing, wrestling, UFC, and now they're coming to comedy.
They've also been going at video games pretty good.
Feels like a natural thing. Oh yeah, EA Sports, right?
Yeah, they've been getting into it through smaller things previously, like SNK and other little companies. But yeah, they just they bought EA and took it private. It was a public traded company, and Jared Kushner, related to the fucking president, out here making deals with other foreign entities. It's something strange. I don't know if maybe it's all above board, but there's something weird about it. But yeah, anyway, Riyadh Comedy Festival happens. That's over in Saudi Arabia. They're going to bring all these stand-up comedians. I'm sure I'll pop the picture up with their poster or whatever of all the people. And those people performed. I really don't have an issue with the people that are like below a certain level. I mean, word is you're getting paid from $350,000 to $1.6 million, depending on who it is, to perform for one night. You get flown over there. They put you up and all that. You know, if I'm at a certain level, I do that. Now, if I do judge like a Bill Burr character quite a bit specifically because he has a bit in one of his things where he's talking like hating on Beyonce for doing the same thing. And they get flown over to Saudi Arabia and they take the money even though they're killing journalists, you know, and then what does he do? The exact same thing. Now, to be fair to him, I think in that bit he ends with, I do the same thing, you know, or whatever, like as a joke, but he's still.
Okay, so he's living his truth.
Still, like, you can't play the pretentious, I don't know. And he's been going on a lot of podcasts last year just with a lot of political takes, right? Of like, these people need to do this and that. And I'm like, you're going to go perform for people that like murder journalists and they don't really have, you know, human rights the way we think of. And so I understand that aspect of it. But there's another part of me that sees it from like, we're the first people going to do a comedy show there. What if we start the spark that leads to someday there being free speech, because comedians, you know, have a great power and a pull politically and typically. So I understand how like you could convince yourself like, I'm doing this for the good of the people of Saudi Arabia, but really deep down you're doing it for the royals who want to have that power over you.
Hey, you're doing it for the deep pockets and the money. But what I wonder is, and I want to know what you think about it. Like, do you think that their styles of comedy are going to translate over there? Like, will they do like their exact same sets, and do you think it'll translate? Or will they try to do jokes that fit the area? And is that more dangerous? Like, I
think they're not allowed to talk about
like fighting
the royals. I know Tim Dillon, who's one of my favorite stand-up comedians these days. He was scheduled. He's the one that leaked how much people are getting paid. But then on his podcast, he was talking about their slaves, and then they canceled him. So, like, obviously there is going to be some limit. I know, I want to say, I can't remember if it was Chappelle or Burr, but one of them opened up with like, I think y'all have more freedom of speech than we do. And then people have been like posting that around of like, shut the fuck up.
I could see that working where like, if they kind of not shit on America, but like really joke on like all the shit that's bad here. I could see that being
Dave Chappelle just went straight to his trades material. Was like, get this, guys. Man, I also take such weird offense to everyone always hating on Dave Chappelle and the trans stuff. And I know he did kind of keep it going or whatever.
It's kind of overblown.
Right. That special, his fucking story is about his trans friend. Like, the whole thing is about,
it's not like,
it'd be like if I told a story about Skinny and then at the end people were like, he's racist. Then I'd be like, the whole point was about me and my black friend. What are we talking about?
He just keeps harping on black people. It's like, no, it was the one black guy who's the moral of the story.
I was like, I just think y'all, and then once y'all missed the point, I think then he doubled down, you know, and then I think he could not do it.
Oh yeah. Now once they completely like misinterpreted him, then he kind of leaned into it on some of like the other smaller jokes, which I thought was great. Like, I was like, yeah, good. Like, if y'all aren't going to understand what I'm saying, then now I'm just going to be kind of a dick.
So I don't know.
And keep going.
So yeah, I'm judging. I love a lot of the comedians that went on this thing, like Mark Norman. I really like the Bad Friends podcast. They actually went and filmed a podcast there. They didn't even do stand up, which I kind of respect more. They're like, we're just going to sit and talk like we're doing a podcast on stage. Yeah, I like Tom Segura back in the day, but he's really fallen off the last couple of years. Like, the fall off of Tom Segura has to be studied someday. I've never seen someone that used to be, he basically was funny. It's all the fear every fat guy has. He was fat and funny, and then he lost weight and became a douchebag. Yeah. Like, it's just like his humor didn't translate, and he's not even that in shape. He still kind of reads as fat, you know what I mean? Like, he's not fat, but if you saw him, you'd be like, oh, the big guy or whatever, you know, like, and he works out a lot. I mean, he's, again, in shape. It's just like, I don't know. It just, his whole he got rich also. I think that changes people. Whereas then I'm pretty confident it would not change me if that ever happened to me. But I also have a very like sort of stubbornness about my personality of like, I will be this way or whatever.
Yeah. I'm going to be who I am no matter what kind of thing.
So anyway,
there's the, and fuck it, I don't remember her name, but the fat white girl actress that was like really funny in a lot of shit for a while. I want to say she was in that singing movie.
Rebel Wilson.
That was one of her big ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's starting to get smaller. Right. And I was talking to one of my daughters about how, like, I wonder if, like, she's going to be way less funny in the next thing she's in, because that does seem like a trend.
Yeah.
Like, they're fat and funny, and then, like, once they lose the fat, they also lose the funny somehow. Like, does the fat make them funny or funnier?
Well,
like, were they never really funny? Like,
mean
what is it?
A little bit more when you're fat, in a way, because people are like, well, their life sucks. They're fat, you know, or whatever. Like
Jonah Hill, like him being a dick fat on movies, kind of hits different now. He's kind of just average. Right. It's like, oh, well, you know, now you're just
I think Seth Rogen was funnier when he was chubbier. You know, he's I mean, it just is what it is. It's hard to explain it.
Yeah, that's just
what it is.
Yeah, I don't know why it is, but I do see the trend. And another thing that I just mentioned randomly, just because nobody else ever seems to notice it or bring it up, but like the female athletes are like shrinking. Like any of the ones that you can think of that were like thick or bigger. And I notice it more because I watch wrestling, and like they're just losing muscle mass. And like there's wrestlers who were like, they had notice, like their shape was like one of the things that made them stand out. It's like, oh, you're a thicker, muscular girl, and like now they're all. Are you saying like the exact same
certain girls' bodies are getting, smaller, or the new roster are like smaller than the old roster? Are you saying different people or the same people?
No, it's certain. Okay. No, the same people are just getting smaller. Like they were once, and it's happening like within a matter of weeks. That's like the real disturbing part of it to me, as somebody who watches and like sees it in real time. I'm like, literally a month ago, you were like a different shape. Now you're just like, I don't know, whatever they're using is just like melting the fat away and the muscle sometimes. And you're just seeing like a lot more slim and skinniness out of people who weren't. And I saw it happen with like now she advertising for it, but Serena Williams, I saw it with her before she started advertising for whatever weight loss thing she's the sponsor of.
Yeah, well, she had a kid, so I'm sure that changed her body, and then she got on a diet and probably made herself smaller.
Oh no, she's taking like whatever shot you take to lose weight. Like it ain't no Ozempic. It's like whatever one they're saying is safer now. Like she's like,
I've seen the commercial.
Like,
I'm trying to remember what they are. Yeah,
this is how I look now. But she's like, to me, she's completely different as far as like, she was known as like she was the thick tennis player. Now she's just not thick.
I mean, I'd have to see it to believe it.
I think that's the new direction.
You know, I think the most famous example recently is Meghan Trainor. I think's her name. She had the song All About That Bass. And like the whole, I guess, premise of that song is her fat ass. And then
that she's the big bass.
And then, all right, what else do I have? Oh, this lawsuit. And then we're gonna play a song. The Drake lawsuit, they say, was dismissed, and everyone's being excited. Well, he's gonna appeal the dismissal, I believe. Now,
of course,
I feel like I'm the only one that's on the pro lawsuit side, and I understand that's not a cool side to be on. You know, I totally get that, but I don't think he should sue him over being called a pedophile. Now, I do think you could probably win that because of it. You'd have, well, I don't know. You couldn't win it because you have to prove Kendrick knows you're not a pedophile. But then if you like come in court with argument of like, no, a pedophile is below 4 years old and I've never had anything with below a 4 year or whatever, you know, like, I don't know, maybe they could. I don't care about that part of the lawsuit. There was a part of that lawsuit that was about UMG botting the songs and along with Spotify botting the songs.
Right.
And that's a fact. And everyone knows major artists do it. And every independent small artist that was like, fuck Drake in the lawsuit because you think Drake's a douchebag. I'm sure he is. We should have all been like, let's see that goddamn lawsuit so we can see what they paid for the fake street. Like, I just think, fuck that. You know, I don't know. I understand. And I noticed it so much during that beef. I started noticing every time when I play Spotify, I do the like special shuffle that adds like random songs in that, you know, aren't on the playlist, but like might vibe with the shit. And they just kept putting Taylor Swift and Kendrick Lamar on. Every other song was just them two. Anytime it added a song.
Yeah, whether it made sense or
fit,
not.
and I was like, God damn. And I like Kendrick Lamar. I'm a fan of Kendrick before any of the beef stuff happened. You know, I like his music, but I'm not a fan of Taylor Swift. It's not really my type of music. And so I would just be like, man, this shit is annoying as shit. So obviously someone was paying someone at that point in time to make Kendrick Lamar pull up on all the playlists. And so I just think that part's interesting. But I know everyone else is just focused on the like, you can't sue over rap beefs. And I'm like, I don't know. I think there's some fun stuff in here we're all ignoring. So that's my take.
And I think, and I do agree that like it'd be nice to have it all officially revealed. Cause like I said, it's one of those things where like everybody knows it, but there's nothing anybody can do about it. Like as far as like the labels pay for streams for the artists, like point blank, or they have partnerships with the streaming companies where, you know, they're gonna get it, you know, for whatever reason. But even if it were to get all revealed and be made official, I just don't think anybody would care. It's like the whole, like, you would think it would matter for certain artists. Like if you knew, oh, well, this person doesn't write their own lyrics, but then even if it comes out, if people like them, they're going to still like them. People like the songs, they're still going to like the songs.
For me, it's all financial. I don't think it would have as
huge an impact.
Theoretically, if it came out that, say, we got numbers for how many people, then you would assume Spotify would go in and subtract those numbers from their listens, and therefore we would get a bigger piece of the pool. Because the way it works currently, people that don't know, on the stream, it's why like the numbers aren't always. There's one giant pool of all the money, and then all of the artists on all the all of Spotify, they get thrown in that pool, and then y'all divide it up on what percentage you are of those total plays. So like Drake makes so much money because he's the biggest percentage of that pool because of all of his discography. And his previous song, like he just gets a lot of plays. And so,
and what it pulls
right. And so if you could get any of these big people, you're like, no, listen, half of these fuckers are, I do think that could help us for at least maybe a month getting a payday while they're getting it. You know, it wouldn't be a lot of money, but it would help a little bit. Every little bit helps.
It'd be a bigger fraction of a penny.
God damn it. So again, that's a very small thing, but yeah, it is true. It's how it's always worked. Payola on radio has always been a thing. You know, I should have probably paid someone money back in the day to market something, and I was like, "Fuck you! I'm doing it on my own podcast." And then look at me now.
And I'm not against it. Just like punish equally or make it affordable equally, and let us all get a chance to get extra heard. Like, don't even do the bots thing. Like, make your I think Spotify has their thing, but it's like way too expensive to keep it going. But the thing where they'll boost your shit for a while for whatever
the marquee
amount
thing or whatever.
But like make that shit more. The marquee. That's it. I couldn't think of the word. But yeah, just make it more affordable for everybody, or give everybody the same access to whatever plan the labels have access to. And if I happen to have $10,000 and it'll help me get 1 million plus streams, let me decide if I want to do that. Don't make it hidden or offer to people who aren't a part of a label something that's probably not going to help them anyway, no matter how much they pay, or it's going to be so temporary that it won't matter. Like, just make that shit fair for everybody. Let everybody. Well,
really, I just want them to pull.
And if you can afford it, you can afford it.
If not like us, got bought it. I want them to pull that fucking song like they would pull someone else's. If your shit gets botted right now, they'd be like, "Sorry, we're going to pull it from."
I don't think they want to kick that. I don't think they want to kick that hornet's nest, because then they have to go back and they'd have to look at every Drake thing that, as popular as he is,
they're all botted.
Okay, but this percentage of it was botted. Yeah, they're all botted. Like, if you're major, you're botted to a certain extent, and then it turns real at some point. And then they have real fans.
But there's things that aren't even bought. Like Taylor Swift, famously, her fans will be like, "Don't forget, guys, keep the album on overnight on repeat." And then like a million little girls are doing that, and she's like, biggest album drop of all time. They're like, well, is it?
I had a weird thing a couple months ago where anytime I logged out of Spotify, when I logged back in, it made it seem like the last thing I played was the new Tyler, the Creator album, which I never clicked on. So I thought that was interesting.
They wanted to think you're gay.
So his label had some kind of deal where I'm sure every time I wasn't on Spotify, they took over my account and had it playing his music some kind of way. But he doesn't show up in my algorithm and shit, but it shows like it's the last thing I played, which is weird.
All right, let's play a song, and then we'll come back. Goodbyes and all that shit. We've made it further than we did previously.
So long.
Just so everyone knows.
Farewell.
The song we're gonna go with here is by me, A2thaMo, and
Hey, we
I
chilling
believe this
with
is off
Mo.
of Retrograde, but I've been wrong about the album before. So when you release 3 albums and
Great album, by the way. If you have not listened to Retrograde, go listen to that. Also listen to Classy 2. Then, of course, you have to listen to Classy 1 to be a completist. And I'm going to also throw in Bros. You're going to want to listen to Bros. I think I suggested that earlier. A lot of great music coming from A2thaMo between the last 2 years that you really need to catch up on if you have not. That's my A2thaMo
That's
advertisement for this
because
show.
eventually I have new shit, and then I won't care about any of this stuff. So
Exactly. And don't forget about the SoCo to the Mo show. That's another classic along with ABCs that I feel like a lot of people slept on. Our collectives really do some great shit.
I know
when
we
get
retired
together.
CJ, so
We did. Nipple Man is retired. I got to find those songs me and him did partially and figure out how to put those out.
Gotta save them. All right, let's listen to Chill Flow. Let's check it out.
Chill Flow.
Yeah. A2thaMo. A2thaMo makes beats. They say ease up, so I light trees up. Gotta get G'd up when I gotta re-up. No, I'm not the type to grab a gun and bang bang, but I will grab a cunt and do that pootie tang thing. Ready for my shot, you ain't gotta say aim. Smoking on pot, tomorrow be the same thing. Shout out Skinny 5000, you know what up. It's time to load a bow and fill your cup, cause we show up, throw up, smoking, oh up. We grown up, show enough, ho gon' tear the flow up. Make bangers for the homies, they got bangers for you homies. Take shots like goalies, while your middle finger lonely in the sky. Know why? Too high to care about these guys. Roll my eyes, spread thighs, like these my everyday activities. Flow so sick, I need a remedy. Do it like moi, hope that you remember me. Probably won't, cause pot fucked up my memory. Yeah, I'm cleaner than soap on the road, bitch, and that's no joke. Like, I am what I smoke, boy, and that's dope. Everyone hating online, they just had to cope. I don't know, A2thaMo, yeah. I don't know, just A2thaMo. I don't know, I'm just A2thaMo. And I'm from Smokelahoma. You didn't know, and now you know her. Call me the big joint roller, or Mister, drop a Xanax in my soda. Yeah, ain't fucking with me now, you ain't fucking with me ever. Cause when I lay it down, I'm really fucking better. Go back, rewrite it, get excited, get joints slided. But when you try to recite it, don't be surprised I still don't like it. Is that shit fake and it really got me thinking I should be changing every radio station. Everyone should be playing me. Why these fucks they hating me? No, I'm doing this until the day that they be tracing me. Think you racing me, I'm in another race. I'm white with red and blue eyes, got a patriotic face. Still a chubby guy wearing fitted hats. That's just my style, dog. Game was out with 5950 caps. Always smoke a sack, what you get me back? Then straight to the computer when I gotta produce a track. I just need one shot, feel like a cannonball. Still riding dirty, bitch, ain't no armor out. All about my bars like alcoholics. Ganja, reefer, weed, I don't care, I smoke whatever you call it. This rap shit cake, you know I get that dope bait. Tryna fuck with Mo, that's your last mistake. Always talk shit, I'm a real asshole. You know when that grass roll, like don't pass Mo. Just fucking around, reminiscing when I used to freestyle. Now I'm tryna eat pussy, smoke weed in the meanwhile.
A2thaMo, look at my camera right. With Chill Flow.
Hey, A2thaMo with the chillest of flows.
That's right. Yeah, I like that one a lot. It's basically got the freestyle vibes. You know, it's not exactly a freestyle because it's like an old freestyle I'm redoing. But I think I got the essence to it.
For sure. And it's got the definitely named appropriately because it definitely has the chill vibes to it. Like that is a chill vibe beat for sure.
Yes. And also I love the, good little auto-tune use. I don't go crazy with it, but it's fun every once in a while to mess around with it. Show the kids how we used to do it on the auto-tune back when T-Pain was popping.
Yeah, you do well with that.
Well, the key, I think when you know actually what auto-tune does, and and I don't mean like when Celine Dion used it, but like the way T-Pain used it. I think when you understand like what you're trying to achieve, it really helps. First off, a lot of people that use it nowadays, or maybe all days, they don't put it in key. Like you actually, there are settings in all the Autotune pro softwares where it's like, what key are you trying to sing in? And then you can put that in, right? So if like the beat's an F minor, or A major, whatever, and you put in that, and then it's going to select just the keys in that is in that. I don't even know what the word is. That collection of key was the scale. Scale is what I'm looking for. I'm not obviously classically trained. So it's going to find something that has scale. So say like if you're in A minor, you know, a C sharp is not in that scale. So if you can hit a C sharp, it like perfectly in the middle, then it's going to make that program waffle between the two, a C and a D. Right. And then that's how you get the T-Pain effect. It's like he's hitting that C sharp so good, it's forcing it to become like do that, you know, back and forth between the C and the D. So like that's the cool thing to do, is like making it do those things when you need to. And then sometimes the point is you want to hit that key and then it's going to keep you in it, you know, like so it can assist you in singing, and then it can do the cool like wobbly shit if you purposely misuse it. If that makes sense. So
makes all the sense in the world to me.
Music knowledge for everyone. Not that I have much, but I'm learning a little bit. I'm excited. I have this video game I found out before. Well, I'm right now playing Final Fantasy Tactics, and I'll be playing that until I platinum it. It's taking over my life, I have to be real honest. But after that, I found this game on the PlayStation 5 called Rocksmith. I don't think I've talked about it on here. And there's been a previous Rocksmith, but this is like whatever the newest one is. But on it, it says I can plug my MIDI keyboard into my PlayStation 5 and it'll just recognize it. And then it's basically Rock Band with a fucking keyboard. And I'm like, and it'll teach you how to play the piano. And I've used Melodics before on the PC, but now they like charge a bunch of money for a subscription. So I'm like, oh my God, this helps me get some keyboard lessons in. I'm totally, so I have it on download. I just haven't, got around to playing it, but eventually I will. And once I do, I'll let everybody know, but I'm pretty excited about that. It also shows where you can plug your guitar in, but in my brain, cause I don't play the guitar, I don't even understand how like you're going to plug in like the 3/4 cord into a computer. I don't even know how you plug a computer into a USB. You know what I mean? Like that, I don't understand it, but I'm sure there is a way. I'm sure there's like a very simple, like, we do this all the time. You do it this way, but I'm like, what? A guitar plugs into like a real guitar is going to plug in your PlayStation. So, as a tech person, I was like, felt super untechy just trying to think about it.
We've talked about it before on here. Like we're just as big a propaganda nation as every
more so
nation we accused of being a propaganda nation. Like we do the exact same shit, we just do it cooler. So like,
well, there's this book called Brave New World, which is actually what is probably prophesized what our world became more so. A lot of people use 1984, but my wife read Brave New World and she was like, oh my God, that you would love this book. And she's told me about it. I need to read it myself. I can't remember the author's name at the moment, but it's a cool sounding name. But I watched an interview with him the other day and he was just kind of describing his thoughts, but he basically predicted like, you don't have to captivate people. Like you just have to distract them. You give them enough candy, enough circuses, enough stuff to distract themselves with, then they'll be willing prisoners. Not even prison. Like they want to, like they don't even care about caring about what's really happening, And so he just was right on the money, and you're like, God damn it, they got us.
Yeah, I think our government's greatest weapon is like entertainment. Like, as long as they keep entertainment being as like multifaceted and shiny as possible, and that that's sports, that's music,
I remember,
that's movies.
I
that's
remember
TV,
when Snappy was on here back in the day, and he would say something like, "Man, the '80s, all the bad guys were Russian. What happened to that? The Russians were the bad guys." I'm like, that was the point. They were propagandizing you to think Russians were the bad guys. But to like that generation, they were like, because they were. And like to our generation, we're like, they were tricking you. Like there's this 10-year sort of like, whatever we are between us, 8 years or something, where it's like, I look at it, I was like, no, it was all a trick. And they're like, they were trying to teach us. And I don't know if that's just an age thing or a personality thing. But all right, anyway, we've been going way too long. We got to wrap this up. All right, we're in here on a beat.
That's what we do.
And we'll, of course, let you get your goodbyes, your shout outs, if you will, real quick. So, go.
For sure. All right, so before we hit this beat, want to thank everybody for participating in, if you did, GraveyOctober, aka GraveyOctober. We will always share music. We'll always stream music. But for the month of October, we just do it a little bit more. And we also are very inclusive of those who have been supporters of us throughout the year. Kind of our way of giving back for those who don't understand how the streaming game and getting paid works. Anything you get streamed in October, you get paid in December. So it's like Merry Christmas from Graveyard to anybody who supports us. And of course, you know, we're supporting ourselves too, because if we don't play our music, how can we expect anybody else to? Music coming out all month long from myself, Southern Com4rt, as well as Sir Nasty. He's got Dealing With My Problems out now. I've got Soko Sessions Volume 5 and soon Volume 6 coming out. Much shorter than his album, so that's why I'm releasing multiple things this month, because I do not have a 25-song album ready, though I do have enough beats to do several 25-song albums. Thanks to A2thaMo. Appreciate you, A2thaMo. Appreciate A2thaShow. If you don't send your music to be played on this podcast, you are missing out on free promotion, because one day we are going to charge to have songs played on this podcast, and somebody's going to say, y'all should do it for free. And we're going to say, bitch, we used to do it for free, and y'all didn't send the music. Southern Com4rt. I'm out.
All right, put it on marketing. And yeah, the beat we're going to play here is called DL1, because that's how I name stuff. And I basically have this folder of it's called the decision folder. After I make a beat, it goes in the decision folder. It's got about 20 or 30 beats in it at the moment, where I don't really know what I'm doing with them. But this one, I was like, you know what? Someday this could be in a Southern Com4rt beat pack. Possibly, maybe not. We'll see. So that's what we're going to end with here. So appreciate you being on, especially with the makeup. We went way too long. I'm going to have to mix all this within the next 48 hours for it to be out in time. We will see what happens. Probably way less than 48 hours.
I will do my best to send you these videos as quickly as possible. 34 hours, if my math is correct. I have 34 hours, and I also have to work and sleep. So we'll see. The clock is ticking.
But all right, peace, bro.
See you, man.
A2thaMo makes beats.